So today I'm gonna show you how to correctly apply blood flow restriction. This video is inspired by Bogdan Stoika. I saw on his channel he tried to use a strap to do it, and I'm gonna explain you why you shouldn't do it actually, and why you need one of these. So just word of introduction. So blood flow restriction is a technique for rehabilitation that may be used for strength, but mostly for hypertrophy. But it's great for period when you are injured, because it allows you to keep working out without too much intensity, and it tricks your body and brain that you work actually harder than you were. So it's a good tool. I use it for quite long time with great success, and protocols are other thing which I'm gonna not discuss in this video, because we would have to go through some studies because they are different. There is some correlation between the pressure and rep ranges and so on, but today I'm gonna just focus on how to correctly apply it. So first thing first, why not strap? Because the idea is to occlude partially your blood flow, especially veins. But the problem is that if you are using something very narrow, you would have to squeeze really high to occlude those veins, those arteries that are inside of your tissue, and you are occluding completely that is on the surface, and you can damage yourself. You can actually, if you cut it completely for some parts and for some parts not, it just doesn't work. I tried many straps, and only thing you can get from this is pain, and also, you know, you can damage your skin if you want to go really heavy. And actually, you don't know it unless you measure it. That's why it's so important to measure, because if your blood flow restriction is not controlled, you don't really know if it's working or not. So, like, a principle is you should have at least 40% of your limb occlusion. Okay, so there is like LOP parameter index that is telling you how much you have to occlude it. So we are doing this like that. Okay, so I'm putting my cuff, and these cuffs are not perfect. I'm not saying they are perfect, but they are way better than any strap I've tried. Ideally, you want to have something wider, because then it's gently compress it everything more equally, which is beneficial. And ideally, to measure for the first time how you should set up your cuffs, you should have a 8 megahertz Doppler. That is probably the best thing you can do at home. They are not very expensive, but I don't have one at this moment here, so I'm going to show you the method that you can do. You can use without that, but I do recommend using Doppler. If you have pulse oximeter that actually doesn't turn off when your pulse is getting low, or you have any device that can actually pretty accurate measure if there is a flow in your limb, you can use it. You can ask also the second person. It's not really recommended, but if you don't have anything else, it's better to use someone else help. So in this case, I'm gonna simulate that we don't have any tools and we are asking someone. So the other person is just trying to measure your pulse. So you need to be calm, everything needs to be calm, you know, to just be able to hear what's going on in your arm. That's not perfect. I'm saying that's not perfect, but it's better than when you do it yourself, because when you do it yourself, you can cheat yourself easily. So we have our cuffs, and what you want to do, you gently go up with pressure till there is no pulse in your limb. Okay? I know where it is, so I'm gonna stop there. Okay, but go gently, because when you put more pressure on your limb, your muscles get you know, a little bit squeezed, and the pressure just slowly goes down. So that's why I do it in short intervals. So in my case, it was 200 mercury, so millimeters Hg. This is the measurement we use in this kind of devices. And when you're reaching your, okay, so let's say I've reached that, it stopped. There is no pulse in my arm. So as you see, it's getting a little bit pumped, and it's changing a little bit of color. So from this point, I'm okay. So I'm at 200. So at this point, I'm releasing exactly half of it. So I'm going to 100, and this is my 50% LOP. And actually, this is the 40% is like proven minimum to be enough to for blood restriction to work. So now, as I have this measured, obviously, when you move your limb, it changes because your muscle length changes, but we can't do much about that. So once again, I put it on 100, and it's okay. It's set up. It's 50% of LOP. And now you are safe to work because you are not gonna cut off all circulation from your limb, so you are not gonna make damage to your body. And it's already effective. You could go a little bit higher if you want, but I don't really, we have to go through studies to see actually if it's beneficial or not. And just start working out. I do it for maximum 10, rarely 15 minutes. It usually should be around 10 minutes, and then I just release the pressure. And that's pretty much it. If we are talking about correct applying blood flow restriction at home, if you have access to any better tools that can measure it, better for you. But this is what you can go pretty much almost everywhere with. And those cuffs, as I said, they are not perfect, but I got them for like, I don't know, 40 euros or something. So you don't need to really go very expensive with these things, and they will work too. So that's it.